For thousands of solo filmmakers, documentary shooters, and hybrid creators around the world, one camera has ruled supreme since 2021. That camera is the legendary Sony FX3. But right now, in the second half of 2026, the entire industry is shifting. A quiet regulatory filing in Shanghai has changed everything for everyone who ever fell in love with this machine. The Sony FX3 Mark II is no longer just a rumor floating around on online forums. It is officially registered, and the countdown clock has officially started. This is not just another internet whisper. This time, it exists on official paper filed with a government agency that does not deal in guesses. On April 24, 2026, Sony's manufacturing partner, Shanghai filed a brand new model. This model carries a very specific prefix, ILME-FX. For Sony tech nerds, that prefix means everything. It is not a generic code for a lens, a flash, or a basic accessory. It is Sony's strictly reserved designation exclusively for its cinema line full-frame cameras. It is the exact same prefix worn by the original FX3 and the bigger FX6 before it. This paper confirms that a brand new cinema camera is fully built and ready for the world. History tells us exactly what happens next. Once a camera clears this specific regulatory registration, Sony almost always announces the product about 3 months later. If you count forward from April 24, you land right on or before September 2026. This lines up perfectly with the IBC trade show. IBC is one of the biggest annual stages for the broadcast and film industry. It is exactly the kind of massive platform Sony loves to use when launching major cinema line products for maximum global visibility. Sony is not just launching one camera either. Looking closer at the same April registration window reveals a second, completely separate model. Industry experts believe this second filing is a new entry-level consumer camera. Even wilder, just weeks earlier in February 2026, Sony registered another model code called the ILC7RM6. That code almost certainly represents the next generation A7R6 flagship. This means 3 major cameras across 3 distinct categories are moving through the pipeline at the exact same time. Sony is loading the chamber for one of its most aggressive product years in recent memory. There is a huge competitive trigger behind this fast timeline. Canon recently launched the EOS R6 Mark V on May 13, 2026. Canon engineered that camera specifically to fight in the compact full-frame video space that the FX3 has owned for half a decade. Sony filed their new cinema camera registration 4 weeks before that Canon launch. Sony is reading the room, responding to heavy pressure, and moving first where it truly counts. September does not feel like a wild guess anymore. It feels like a calculated corporate strategy. Let us separate the confirmed registration facts from the credible industry expectations. The official registration confirms that this new cinema camera uses Sony's brand new NPSA 100 battery. This is a much higher capacity cell that just debuted with the A7R6. This is the first time this powerful battery has ever appeared in a cinema line registration. It is also paired with support for 30-watt USB-C power delivery fast charging. For filmmakers who have spent years rationing old FX3 batteries through brutal shoot days, this upgrade alone is transformative. You get longer run times, faster charging, and way less anxiety on set. The filing also confirms full Wi-Fi 6 support, bringing the camera into modern wireless streaming and remote monitoring standards. Beyond the paperwork, highly credible industry sources point to a major sensor upgrade. We expect significantly improved dynamic range and beautifully refined color science. Sony will likely keep a similar resolution philosophy because that is what made the original FX3 such a low-light powerhouse. There are heavy rumors of a partially stacked sensor design. This design aims for faster readout speeds and massively reduced rolling shutter effect. Thermal management is also getting a big overhaul to completely fix recording limits in hot climates. Professional audio handling will also take a step forward with more refined XLR inputs and better multi-camera monitoring options. There is a fun debate online about the actual name of this camera. Some creators think Sony might call it the FX4 instead of the FX3 Mark II. They believe Sony wants to create a whole new price tier above the existing FX3. While that is a fair theory, the simpler and more historically consistent path is a direct successor named the FX3 Mark II. Of course, we still do not know the exact recording formats, the specific LCD screen style, or the final retail pricing. Those details will only surface when Sony takes the stage for the official announcement. This upcoming announcement feels incredibly urgent because the compact cinema space is more crowded than ever before. Canon did not just stop with the R6 series. They also launched the EOS C500, engineered strictly to challenge the dominance of the FX3. It is small, lightweight, and bridges the gap between consumer bodies and elite cinema systems. At the same time, Nikon has aggressively entered the chat. The new Nikon Z cinema camera arrived with built-in red color science and internal RAW recording. It undercuts the entire market with insane pricing while delivering 15 stops of dynamic range. Independent reviews throughout 2026 have called the Nikon Z camera the strongest value proposition in the industry today. The original FX3 still holds the crown for ultimate low-light performance. It remains one of the most trusted tools in the world for difficult lighting conditions. Sony even supported it with a major firmware update as recently as March 2026, which is amazing for a camera approaching its 5th birthday. But longevity is not the same as leadership. 4 years ago, the FX3 had no real competition. Today, it is fighting a brutal war against a hungry Canon on one side and a fierce Nikon on the other. The FX3 Mark II is no longer optional for Sony. It is absolutely necessary to survive. My best opinion on this product is that the Sony FX3 Mark II is going to change the game all over again. Sony knows exactly how much pressure they are under from Nikon and Canon, which means they cannot afford to release a lazy update. By bringing in the new high-capacity battery, lightning-fast USB-C charging, and a fast readout sensor, they are directly fixing every single pain point professional filmmakers have complained about for years. It is going to be an instant buy for solo operators and documentary filmmakers who need absolute reliability in a tiny form factor. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, share the video with your filmmaker friends, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an urgent camera update.